Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the last match of the Owlet regular season. Today we have Crusaders versus Danger Close Red, and it's a match with some stakes. Here in the casting booth with me today is my teammate on Los Beefers Debut, Spork.
Thank you for that warm welcome and a ring-in that I could not have improved on myself. Yeah, there are some very high stakes to today's match, especially for Crusaders. So they're currently 4th in their division, as you can see, but they could overtake Road Dragons for the last playoff spot that is currently up for grabs. If they 3-0 DCR or Danger Close Red in this match.
That's correct, Spork. So this is, for Crusaders, this is playing season playoff hopes. They have to not only win the match, but as you said, they have to not drop a single map. And on the other hand, Danger Close Red, regardless of the outcome of today's match, is already eliminated from the playoffs. However, they have a story of their own. I mean, they went 4-0 in Owlet Stage 1 this season, and then in Stage 2, they're 0-3 so far. So in my mind, if I'm Danger Close Red, they're playing to, show us that where they are on the overall season standings, I believe they're 4th on the overall standings, is somewhere they deserve to be, frankly.
Yeah, it's been a very common narrative that DCR has been. They've been dubbed overrated quite a bit this stage, mainly because of their, as you said, 0-3 record. So it's a little bit of a one last final stand to I guess protect their image after a stage that wasn't as great as the first one went.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, we can talk about Danger Close Red all we want. We can talk about, their Stage 1 was a bit on the easier side. In Stage 1, they played both Phoenix and Volume 0, who I believe are at the very bottom of the overall season rankings. They also played Rogue Dragons, who I'm sure if Solar was here in the casting booth with us today, would say I'm sure Rogue Dragons will win the next match. And then they got a free win over Growloo, let's just say.
Yeah, but all that is to say that the pressure is on here for Crusaders. This is their do or die situation.
An interesting thing that I think we should mention here, Bix, is if the Crusaders do 3-0 Danger Close Red, they're playing us in the first round of the playoffs.
This is true. We will not count any chickens before any chickens hatch, my friend. But it is context that I feel like does need to be included. And if they happen to win 3-0, as we've said they need to, then we could very well have a bit of friendly tension in the post-match interview.
That's exactly right. And any way this goes, we're gonna have a great match for you all tonight. Crusaders, Danger Close Red, two great teams from the Knocked Owl division, two teams that are kind of mid-table in the overall standings, and that both have something to play for here tonight. And I think that we're about a minute off from going into the first map, which it looks like is going to be Ilios here. So what I expect to see these two teams run on Ilios is going to vary a lot, obviously based on the sub-map that we see first. So, your guess is as good as mine for whether we're going to go, on Ruins and we might see some sniper action, or if we're going to go on Lighthouse and we'll see, I don't know, Brawl or something. But Ilios it is.
Yep. And then, so Crusaders is known for their, I guess, more meta comps. They're not exactly a Brawl one-trick team, but they are a, they play Double Bubble, they play the Brawl, they play the Double Shield. So we could see a fair few combinations coming out here from either side.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be starting on Ruins here. So we're gonna see. It looks like the double bubble from Crusaders, as you mentioned there, along with a very divey kind of DPS lineup with the Tracer Echo, and then a Mercy Pocket, presumably mostly for the Echo here, and an Ana to farm those cheeky nanos on the monkey. And from DCR, I'm not really sure. This is like a kind of weird rush comp. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that makes more sense.
Rush comp.
It's a rush comp.
I
One
was
thing I am
confused
interested
about
in
the
is PT Hanley on the Ana. That is not something we usually see, and I guess we'll see how it plays out this time around.
Yeah, I don't. That's an interesting one from Crusaders. Obviously, Ana very important in this double bubble comp as they're taking these initial positions here. DCR is going to want to take these really fast engages, get in with the Reaper and the Kree, do a lot of damage, and then just win the fight as quickly as possible. Whereas Crusaders are going to want to play a little slower with the Echo, be able to poke away a little bit. DCR seems to have kind of taken up residence on the point, but Crusaders are going for them, and Xavier EXE going really low, but it's actually Final Gambit who finds fight on the other side of the monkey. And it's just kind of an all-out brawl on the point, but DCR seems to have taken a foothold here.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Crusaders to retake this point here without their monkey. So I think it's going to look to be backing out now, as you can see. Losing minimal people, but Zebra Cookie picks Shinote on the way out.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously in that fight we saw Crusaders tanks multiple times get purpled by great nades from PT Hanley on the side of Crusaders, and Xavier EXE just survived over and over again. It was like the third nade that he finally died there, as now it's on Crusaders to have to kind of rush in, but their comp is not quite as well suited for that.
They would be nanoing the monkey though, and he will be going into the back line. Xavier EXE goes down too.
The Nano Monkey all important as they're just investing a lot of ults here. So they did take the flip, and only 37% for pretty good from the Crusaders side. And as a little bonus on top, they managed to bait out both of the DCR support ults. That's going to be huge. They used Coalescence, and I believe that Paradroid might have actually died with beat there. I don't know if he died while beating or he beat it in the grab.
He beat it in the grab and then proceeded to die while doing so. So, a bit of an Ajax beat, as we call it in the business. I would never.
Yeah, but Zebra Cookie now with a great zoning. Oh, he gets taken down by Clutch Caliber with the Pulse Bomb there. And Audacity, Clutch Caliber's just going wild in the front line here. I was going to say the back line, but he took out Zebra Cookie, he took out Xavier EXE, and now DCR is on the back foot.
Yep, they're definitely going to back out. This is as few people as possible. Perhaps Crusaders is overextending a bit here, but they will be backing out now. So
it really seems to me, Bix, like what DCR is really struggling with here is that their comp wants to use that speed boost from the Lucio, just rush in, try to get that Reaper to get as much value as possible early with the monkey jump, but the monkey's just getting purpled every fight. Xavier EXE just can't hold this presence in the front line.
As a good will be popping with Death Blossom and will take down 2, or at least assist, and then the PT Handler. And it does look like DCR will be taking the well, eventually, after 72% or so, we'll be taking the point back from Crusaders.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is a remarkable performance from both of DCR's DPS players. Final Gambit here just taking up so much space on the front line alongside his Winston counterpart. And here they're rushing in with the Speed Amp, with the Coalescence, trying to force down fight, and he finally goes down.
Yeah, it's very interesting how you mentioned that Xavier has been kind of hindered by these anti-nades, but once he ran in there, he had Primal. He had no care in the world as he went deep into their backline and just took out fight with little to no, worry about being contested.
Yeah, he's clearly a little more comfortable here, and they just didn't seem to see him. He was waiting around that corner, and we're seeing Paradroid use the sound barrier. Xavier was slept in his Primal Rage form, and suddenly it's DCR that's on the back foot as Fight is using his Primal Rage in turn. And he's trying to burn down this Reaper, who does manage to get out, but Audacity's gotten off the bomb, and that's gonna be big. Taking out the D.Va and not the D.Va, excuse me, the D.Va mech and the Reaper there. And once again, it's Clutch Caliber just finishing off these crucial kills mid-fight, putting so much pressure on the front and mid lines of the DCR comp. But DCR now in last fight territory at 98%. They're coming up on this D.Va ult, they're probably gonna have time to build a Reaper ult, and they have that Deadeye as well.
Yeah, this is like last fight territory for either team right now. By the time by the time DCR gets back to the point, it'll be 90% or perhaps more.
If you're Crusaders right now, you need just a hero pulse from Clutch Caliber. He's done it before, he did it in the last fight. If he can get one of these supports, if he can get the Kree, oh, he just misses the Kree of Zebra Cookie, and Xavier EXE and Final Gambit in the front line are getting a lot more value. Mornotron with the bomb himself, and Chinote waits around that little pillar there, but he ends up dying to Final Gambit's Death Blossom that gets to Final Gambit with so much value off those ults in this match so far. And Crusaders are just staggering back on the point. Terrafew using that Coalescence. Paradroid's coming up on the beat. Xavier EXE's coming up on the Primal Rage, but they're not even gonna need it. DCR taking the first round of Ilios.
Yeah, that was actually very impressive from DCR at the end there. They seemed to be playing a bit scared after Xavier kept getting antied over and over again, as you mentioned. But eventually they realized that Crusaders wasn't doing that great of a job capitalizing on it. So they just ran in with, I hesitate to say the care in the world, but certainly less cares in the world.
No, and I think that's a good point. I mean, I think they certainly got their confidence back around the, where that round was about a third of the way over, and they started playing their comp the way it is meant to be played, which is they want to rush in, get as much value as they possibly can. If they can't get value, they want to get out, take a soft reset, and retake that fight. And at the beginning, they were rushing in, maybe a little dangerously, but they started rushing in a much more determined, confident manner. And now we're going to see both teams actually playing these rush comps, with the only difference being Zebra Cookie on the Kree versus Clutch Caliber on the Sombra. So it's going to be all about seeing if this Sombra is going to be able to get value out of the hacks.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure who Clutch is going to hack, but I'm also not a Sombra player, so I don't know who he's looking for.
There's some pretty good hack targets. I mean, if you can get the D.Va and isolate that, D.Va has no D-Matrix, you can burn down that mech really fast. So Crusaders had an early engage on the point, they had early point control, but it's now DCR that's coming in. Zebra Cookie from that slight distance in the back, just getting so much more value than his Sombra counterpoint over here. But as I say that, Clutch Caliber does get Terrafew, and Zebra Cookie's off the side. A hero boop from Chinote, and it's just an all-out brawl on the point at this point. Clutch Caliber is getting a couple of picks here, but it seems like it's gonna be Danger Close Red that holds on. The Sombra gets out with just about 1 HP, but crucially here, Bix, Crusaders are coming up on EMP after just one fight.
This is true, and that being said, though, there is a lot of ults on the side of DCR that this EMP needs to counter. They have both support ults, almost both DPS ults, and pretty much both tank ults.
It's a 6-man EMP immediately!
And
they can't use any of those ults. DCR just shut down early in that fight. PT Hanley actually finds 2, and now Crusaders are on the back foot having to re-engage on this point. Mornotron isn't even gonna get another mech after using that bomb, but Zebra Cookie takes 2 mid-fight. PT Hanley now with 4 final eliminations in this fight, binding 2 with his ultimate ability there. And for Crusaders, it seems like it's just a stagger on the point now here, Bix. But as I say that, Terrafew does use ult.
Yeah, both support ults come out here to at least prolong the DCR's presence on the point, but those are only last so long, and Crusaders, I guess, higher number and or numbers advantage and personnel advantage will benefit them in the end, and they will flip the point eventually after about 62%.
Oh, and this isn't great. Zebra Cookie's alright, Zebra Cookie is gonna get out of that. He's getting some pressure there from fight on that high ground, but Spork, what an incredible fight that was from I said Terrafew, I actually meant PT Hanley. Got 4, maybe even 5 final blows that fight. Just for some data here, he has the second most final blows on the team right now.
Huh.
And Gambit coming in with the ult, but it does get eaten entirely by Marcus's defense matrix. And Crusaders looking mighty low on the point. They lose 2. Chinote does go down, so some healing down, but it's going to be Crusaders just cleaning up that fight onto DCR. I said Crusaders look low, I meant DCR.
Yeah, Crusaders will win that out in the end, with actually quite a few important ults to, they come out of it with quite a few important ults. They still have the EMP, they still have the Coalescence, and this bomb is just going to provide their tank line with a little bit more survivability. So, all in all, Crusaders looking very strong here as they just passed DCR in point percentage.
Yeah, no, oh my goodness!
The EMP is stunned out.
Excalibur actually gets stunned out of the EMP by Zebra Cookie, who's now using his Deadeye, doesn't find any value from that, and Terrafew does go down, so it's 1-1 on the point now, and Fight just getting so much value with that cleave damage on the point as Chinote gets another boop onto Zebra Cookie. That's the second boop from Chinote onto Zebra Cookie this round. And a great play from Zebra Cookie to deny that EMP. You know, I was going to say Crusaders are undoubtedly playing the ult rotation better on this round in particular, but now it's, you know, it's desperation time from DCR coming back in here.
The Zebra Cookie will be swapping to the Tracer here, so this fight lasts a second touch. He will be going down immediately, though, with the recall. And Xavier AC goes in, he has the primal, so he can live on the point for a little bit longer.
The big thing here is, can Terrafew stay up long enough to get that Coalescence online? And they do stay up long enough to get the Coalescence online, but go down immediately. But Moramatron does find his counterpart Marcus with that. And it's going to be Audacity on the side of Crusaders coming out with the ult. It does get eaten, but here DCR is going to just have to stay on the point as long as they possibly can. It looks like they have a little bit of control, but several members of their team are so low. Final Gambit hacked with under 100 health there, but they are going to find the flip. And now for Crusaders, it's just going to be a reset. Marcus presumably going to swap back off of the ball from that stall hero, and suddenly it's looking like DCR is in an okay spot. They're coming up on Final Gambit's ult, but on the other side, they're going to be contending with the double support ult and EMP combo.
Yeah, there is no flashbang on the side of DCR this time, so Clutch can pretty much EMP at free will.
You see here, Clutch is setting up for that EMP. Coming right in the back of the point here, but he does decloak, yeah. Alright. So it's gonna be a desperation fight here, and that has given Final Gambit a little more time to build ult, but it's no use as a 3-man EMP takes Final Gambit out of the fight before they even have a chance to ult. DCR's tank's now getting shredded, but Crusaders just have to stay on the point unless we see some heroic pulse bomb here from Zebra Cookie. Yeah, that's just likely gonna be the fight and the round going Crusaders' way here as they retake the point and overtime ticks away.
It does not seem like anyone can touch on the side of DCR, so we will be going to a third round here on Ilios. And it's funny, Skylar, this PT Hanley on this Moira is playing a lot like he plays the D.Va. He's known for his D.Va play.
PT Hanley is an inspirational Moira, I'm just going to say.
Indeed.
Inspirational. This is how I play Moira, Spork.
I know.
This is my style. I love it. I could just spectate PT Hanley this whole match.
He's playing it a lot like D.Va. He's going into the enemy team's backline and he's punishing the people who are out of position and who are stranded by their own team.
And he has the second most final eliminations, not only on his team, but in the entire match to tell of it. And the least deaths on his team, and actually tied for second least deaths, I believe. No, sorry, tied for least deaths in the entire match. So clearly what PT Hanley is paying off. It does seem like on that last round for me, where Crusaders really shined was they just won the ult game. They won that ult rotation. They got a lot of value out of the EMP basically every time. But it's a new match. It's a new sub map rather, and we're gonna see what happens here.
Yeah, both these teams are running the Sombra Rush, where they fight over the mini health pack, which Zebra Cookie does seem to have won. That does go the way of DCR. The Paratroll goes down early. That's a little bit of healing going, but a lot less.
Another final blow for PT Hanley. Both monkeys did get hacked right away there, but it looks like Crusaders are going to be able to take this point as they get the D.Va out. And from DCR, I mean, the best bet at this point is maybe just to back off a little bit, regroup. And it looks like that's actually what they're going to do, is Xavier HC is just trying to either, I don't know, get out, maybe go jump off that cliff, and they just get out and reset. And, ooh, this is an interesting one here, because you look at the ult bank for Crusaders, they're coming up real close on 6 ults. Meanwhile, on DCR's side, they have Coalescence and they have the EMP, so their best hope here is to EMP really, really, really fast if they realize that, and maybe try to kind of flip this ult rotation back in their favor by taking a quick fight. But instead, they're kind of getting stalled out in this hallway, and they've already built up a couple of ults, including the beat, which is used to counter that EMP that actually did hit 4. And now it's going to be Crusaders' turn to EMP, as it only does hit Paradroid, actually, but that's going to be enough. Paradroid taken out by his counterpart Chinote, and Marcus takes out Zebra Cookie with the bomb. DCR still holding on to this point. Chinote looking in a kind of desperate situation there himself, but Audacity takes out Final Gambit. Mormatron forced, I believe, to use that bomb just for the remake. Doesn't even get the remake. Gets booped in.
Yeah,
And this is looking
that is
real
a
bleak
lot invested
for
from
DCR.
DCR.
Yeah.
That's a lot invested from DCR for not a lot to show for it. 0% still on their side of the point. So, you know, the ult game actually is quite even at this point, with the beat only going into somewhat advantage of the DCR.
Mm-hmm.
So, going into this fight, the Final Gambit's looking to get another one of these big blossoms, and we'll see what we can do here.
Yeah, Final Gambit's going to have to just get value out of this blossom. Xavier going in early, but he does get hacked in the middle of that Primal Rage. Man, that's so annoying. And Audacity takes out Terrafew early in the fight.
That's a
Parajoid
big beat from Parajoid.
That beat onto 5, but oh no, it just looks like this fight is going firmly in Crusaders, and Final Gambit gets booped. Chinote with the boops this match has been unreal. I think that might have been his 4th or 5th boop on Ilios total. And Crusaders are gonna, after losing that first round, they take the map in dominant fashion, especially on that last round there.
Yeah, I would hesitate to call Lighthouse dominant. That was
right, Lighthouse
much
maybe
of a
not
scrap.
dominant, but 99-0 on the last one for sure. That round was dominant.
Yeah, DCR didn't even get a chance on Well, mainly because you were talking about PT Hanley being in more after your own heart. My boy Chinote is a Lucio after my own heart. He has been fragging out on the Ilios, as any Lucio is intended to do.
He has been going for the boops indeed. PT Hanley, you see there, 37 eliminations. Marcus also with a 71% kill participation. Really impressive play on the D.Va. And, alright, if I'm DCR, what they did well that match, and how I feel like they won that first round, was they really supported their DPS. I thought the play that we saw coming out of, I believe it was Zebra Cookie on the McCree, looked really good. Zebra Cookie was finding value on the McCree when he was allowed to play the McCree and when his team gave him a little bit of space. He was finding those picks mid-fight, and I think DCR just has to tighten up their tempo a tiny bit and give their DPS the space that they need to shine. And yeah, I mean it's a close Ilios, honestly. They did win that last round, pretty dominant from Crusaders, but all in all, 99-99 with DCR taking the first round does look close, and it looks like we'll be going to Rialto next.
Yeah, Rialto is. I'm interested to see how this plays out, because I can't say I know a lot about the, I guess, sniper prowess or the, I guess, long distance prowess from either of these teams. But I feel like that will play a lot into who comes out of this Rialto map victorious, because both of these teams, they've been playing pretty rushy, pretty brawly comps. So it's like whoever can put the most distance between themselves and the rushing enemy, I feel like is going to have the advantage here.
Yeah, and after that first map, kind of my guess might be that these teams seem to prefer this Monkey D.Va rush when possible.
Yeah.
They certainly DCR favored it basically that entire match or map, excuse me, and Crusaders playing it on at least 2 of the rounds out of the 3, with the very similar kind of double bubble Monkey Zarya coming in for the last one with those kind of pokey dive tanks. And so, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. We'll see if they opt for a more long distance pokey hit scan presence on this map, as we've kind of seen some of the other Owlet teams play on Rialto. But I'm not sure. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we just see these rush comps come back out.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's very, like, the tank lines of these rush comps have obviously very good vertical mobility. They can get on the high ground as easy as anyone else in the game. But it's going to take a little bit for, like, the Moira to perhaps get up there to help their team. So on a high ground dominated map like Rialto, I'm interested to see how these teams play it out.
Yeah, obviously, especially on first and second point on Rialto, being able to get up to that staircase, that first high ground on first point, and then the one right before the end of the first point is extremely important, especially when you're on the attack. Being able to unseat defenders who are up there so that they can't just poke away at you all day, and you have to kind of rush around on the stairs is crucial. So like you said, I think that the tank line for this rush comp would certainly work pretty well. I think the Reaper is going to be an interesting one for me. We'll see if the Reapers are able to find value, whether it's just rushing the front line. We might see some cheeky teleports up to that high ground, which is going to have to be really carefully supported by the tank line of either team. Honestly, from Danger Close Red's perspective, I'm really hoping that we are able to see Zebra Cookie again on whether it's McCree or Ash or one of these hit scan, because he was looking like a very bright spot in that first map.
Yeah, these CPS from Danger Close Red are going to be crucial if they're going to want to, take a map and ruin the playoff hopes of Crusaders. It's they seem to get flustered. They seem to get a bit flustered at times. There's a bit of a, I guess, adrenaline high noon from Cookie on Ilios Lighthouse, but if their team can support them well, they won't have anything to worry about, and they can frag out just as they did in the first round of Ilios and in the first half or so of the second round.
Yes, indeed. And we're going into Rialto here, so for all of the guesses that we can take about what the comps are going to be, we'll find out what they actually are in just a second, especially from the defensive side. And here's something interesting, and this isn't terribly surprising. The defending team here, Crusaders, opting for the double shield comp with Orisa Sigma, and then really pokey DPS and support line with the Ashe, Torb, the Bap, all going to be doing tons and tons of damage to any of these chokes that they've got to walk through. And then Chinote on the Mercy.
Skylar?
Yes?
I see Pirate Ship, Skylar.
I do see Pirate Ship. I wasn't going to comment on it until we had 5 seconds left.
Yeah, they are the attacking team, so they can swap off of that. But
yeah,
me like it.
And also the Bastion. Yeah, the Bastion was set up well back in their spawn. My question here is Final Gambit going to do what Murrow on our team likes to do and try to jump over this roof and get an immediate pick off with the Junkrat, or is this going to? It's going to be a more conservative, pokey Junkrat.
I guess he
likes
it's
a little less fun to watch, but it's better. Yeah, he likes to win.
Unlucky,
likes to actually get kills. Unlucky.
So we do see this double shield coming out from both teams here. Final Gambit just kind of sitting on the low ground, plunking bombs up to the high ground.
Yeah, and DCR taking some good space, but as we talked about, you can see here they're just unable to contest Marcus and Clutch Caliber on the high ground. Their tanks can't really get up there. Final Gambit maybe could get up there with Terrafew, but they would be basically alone. And so the Crusaders are just able to leave half their team on this high ground uncontested and spam through. So you saw DCR get this first or second corner, I suppose, basically uncontested, but at this point they're having a tough time.
Yeah, this is. I kind of feel like, well, they can't really do much as Clutch Caliber gets 2 here, but
three.
Excuse me. And the entire half, the surrounding half of their team is just stuck on the staircase among Crusaders, so they're probably going to go down soon as well. That's a big stagger from Crusaders, and that DCR's gonna have to wait a long time to push back into this.
Yeah, and presumably, they're going to be able to res PT Hanley there. One of the things that, I don't know, I'm not sure that I love the Junkrat in this comp from Final Gambit here, Vix, and I'm curious what your opinion is, because, obviously, Junkrat can be part of a poke comp, but into this double shield and into this high ground where he's not going to necessarily, especially here, where he can't take a super hard off angle in this first choke, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to get value. And you can actually see his ult percentage is, he hasn't quite built his ult there yet.
Yeah,
but things are going down on the high ground.
It's going to be
DCR finally made it up to the high ground, and they are not giving it up. They're using the window late in the fight, but they're down a couple of players. And we do see the Bob expended from Zebra Cookie does catch PT Hanley, but now it's just shooting at shields. Zebra Cookie catches a couple, and the Bob gets Audacity while he's ulting. This is what I wanted to see from DCR. This is what I wanted to see from Zebra Cookie. I want to just see them support this hit scan as he's popping off and getting these cleanup kills.
Yeah, we here at Beefers are a big fan of Bob and similar turrety entities. So I'm happy to see him popping off. But yeah, the Zebra Cookie here is just about killing everybody. Well, as I say that, he goes down.
Crusaders using a couple ults of their own. with their own Bob. Oh, but Final Gambit does find fight on the front line, and Mortotron with a huge Gravitic Flux, finding both Clutch Caliber and Chinote from Crusaders, and that's going to be DCR taking this first point in just under 3 minutes, it seems. So really not a bad first point push from them, especially because they were definitely a little stuck on that high ground there for about a minute and a half. They didn't quite know what they wanted to do. And you know, Spork, I'm still not 100% sold on the Junkrat, to be completely honest. I actually like Audacity's pick of the Hanzo a little bit more here, but they made point A work.
Yeah. To be fair, they did make it work with several clutch moments, and they're just going to be kind of poking at each other here. But while we're kind of stalled, I do want to point out Mortotron and Zebra Cookie for their, I guess, star plays there.
Yeah, I mean, crazy plays from both of them. Zebra Cookie getting 3 early in the fight, as Zebra Cookie's just now going to kind of be getting back, but this time it's Marcus using his ult. It's not quite going to find any, but Mortotron does get cleaned up by Fight, and so it's 1 down on either side, now 2 down on the side of Crusaders, as Crusaders just kind of backing up. They do get the res off here on Fight on the mid tank, which is going to be crucial for maintaining their frontline presence. And DCR is kind of, again here, stuck under this bridge a little bit. They're not quite sure how to crack this high ground defense from Crusaders. I said Crusaders, I meant DCR stuck on the bridge.
Yeah, the trades do continue. This has been a very drawn-out fight. And
the interesting thing here is Zebra Cookie went down with Bob there, and Clutch Caliber is now going to be able to build up a Bob of his own.
Yeah, that could very well have the make the difference in this. It's going pretty much back and forth depending on who's ulting at the time. And Xavier does go down. I do think that spells the end of this fight for DCR, which is a bit of a shame considering just how much they invested into that. And Zebra Cookie will go down again. And with this pro comp, I mean, they can punish these rotations or these backing out pretty much as they want to.
Yeah, DCR seemed like they were maybe going to go up to that high ground there, but I think that they were kind of just looking for cover from the crossfire there. Zebra Cookie, once again, this is such a dangerous spot to just have to come across if you're in Ashes, coming across that bridge. And into Crusaders, set up well on the top. Final Gambit comes around with the tire, but doesn't actually find anything. And now it's going to be Audacity ulting once again, finds Zebra Cookie again with the Bob. But they're investing both of the DPS ults here on the side of Crusaders, so that is a pretty heavy investment to win this fight.
Yeah. However, Parajoy did use that Valkyrie.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't notice that.
Somewhat hopeless attempt, I suppose, but one nonetheless to flip the fight.
So we're now basically in the spot we were on point 1, where we're going to have to see basically 1.5 or 2 sustained fight wins from DCR to take this point. They have some of these tools. They have the Gravitic Flux, they have the Bob if they can get it off. But, I mean, just Zebra Cookie's had this Bob for so long, Clutch Caliber is halfway to his next Bob, and Zebra Cookie hasn't used his.
Well,
there it is going to be, right in the back of the high ground here. It is getting some good damage down onto Fight. He has to turn around and look at it. Ooh, and the Flux from Mortotron is a whiff, as Crusaders are looking like they're getting the upper hand in this fight. But as I say that, Audacity does go down. Chinote able to res him though, and Clutch Caliber takes out Paradroid, so DCR now down a crucial healer here. And they're just going to have to hold on to this point here at the very end. Clutch Caliber coming up on the Bob. The only hope here for DCR, in my mind, is if Xavier EXE can build this Bongo, and they can get a ton of value from that Orisa ultimate.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to have to happen fast and soon.
It does build and use it there.
I don't know.
But the Bob is out from Crusaders.
The Bob is in the backline of DCR, and yeah, that's gonna break them down. And just about that, including our best, but DCR is gonna pretty much crumple with that Bob in the backline. They were holding on for dear life, and now, yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking at this map for me, I think so far it's been a story of 2 Ashes and 2 Sigmas. You know, we've seen hero plays from on the side of Crusaders from Marcus and Clutch Caliber. On the side of DCR, we've seen great plays from Mortotron, obviously to take that first point. Zebra Cookie to solidify the second corner on that first point. But that's a pretty good hold from Crusaders. That's a very winnable position.
Yeah, I'd argue that DCR pretty much only made it as far as Crusaders wanted them to. Like they were willing to give them up They willing to give up, like, as much ground as they did, but then once they got to that point, they knew that they had pretty much an unbreakable hold if DCR were to keep running the Junkrat, so to speak, or for example.
A very fair point, and we're going to see basically a mirror of what Crusaders ran on defense here from DCR. It's the double shield, the Ash, and the Torb, and then the Bap Mercy. What can I say? It is a good comp on this point.
It is.
For Crusaders, it's going to be, can you pressure the folks on the high ground or push them off the high ground in some way that is better than what DCR was able to do. And Crusaders, instead of the Junkrat, are opting to keep Audacity on this Hanzo. I really like this for the increased shield break, the pick potential, and then also, the ability to get onto those high grounds and contest them if need be.
Yeah, but Scout, he can't go over the rooftops like a cool guy.
That's true, he can't go over the rooftop and go for an early kill, so basically DCR just won this map. That is true.
Yeah. Well, as we're getting into this, the Crusaders is pretty much going to be using the shield as a third, or the card as a third shield.
This is a really interesting turret placement from Final Gambit. I haven't seen a ton of this in the past, and as a matter of fact, it goes down right as I'm saying that. It's in what I'd call a very pokeable position, but Final Gambit should have plenty of time before they quite get around this corner to be able to throw down another turret. Clutch Caliber goes down but gets rezzed, and Audacity here is he's on this flank in the low ground on the door on the side, and he was getting a lot of free shots in there. He didn't actually manage to find any final blows there, but now Crusaders have done exactly what we were talking about. They twisted the situation up on DCR, and now they're on the high ground. They've got Clutch Caliber, Marcus, and Chinote and Audacity, if he wants to be, are all set up on this high ground.
Yeah, and just pretty much just as it was in DCR's offense, they don't have anything to contest it. They just kind of have to sit there and take it and hope that their shields last long enough. But as I say that, Final Gambit goes down. Not behind any of their shields.
with the great window there manages to take out Final Gambit. It looks like Paradroid's going to be able to get the res off, and Zebra Cookie actually gets PT Hanley instead. So now, which team is down? Baptiste has swapped, but he does get res by Chinote. Final Gambit manages to take out the main tank there, and Chinote blew his ult there pretty late in the fight, kind of maybe for some survivability to be able to get that res off. I can't say it wasn't worth it, but it looks like DCR is going to be able to stabilize here, and now they're coming up on these tools.
Yeah. Oh, that's a risky peek from Clutch Caliber. It's just about all 6 of the enemy team right on the other side of that doorway. But it looked like there was just a bit of miscommunication from Crusaders. Like, 5 of the team backed up and then Fight stayed on the cart. And I think that was winnable if Fight were to stay alive and had retreated with the team.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He just kind of got taken advantage of from.
And we're going to see Bob coming out from Clutch Caliber and the Dragons coming out from Audacity. Neither one of them is quite going to find anyone yet, but Bob pretty much unchecked here in the back. Zebra Cookie taking out PT Hanley again. These poor Baptistes are just getting bullied this map. Marcus gets a huge Gravitic Flux onto 4. We'll see if it's able to find anyone. It does find Terrafew, but he gets rezzed by Paradroid. No, he doesn't. Paradroid goes down mid-res. Two huge arrows from Audacity. Audacity just going huge in this fight. Zebra Cookie on the other side finding Audacity, and Clutch Caliber going down. So it's a exceptionally chaotic fight as DCR is just desperately trying to hold onto the space at the end. They are going to have a slight spawn advantage here. PT Hanley uses his window, but he's just going to be able to get healing out of it. Although, as I say that, the Bob from Zebra Cookie does come out into the back and finds Marcus, actually. Bob in a great spot here to get some crossfire, but he's protected from the spawners who are coming in. DCR is going to stabilize here. They're going to stabilize with just under a minute left here, and suddenly it's looking like DCR is actually in a really good spot to win this map.
Yeah. They do only have the window, and Morin is coming up on a... He's a bit distant, but he will be coming up soon on Warrior Explosive, which we have seen him do quite a lot with. Actually,
yeah, but on the other side, all Crusaders have is the Supercharger, which of course, Supercharger and Window, both great ults, fairly similar in terms of their utility. Supercharger probably a little more value, especially as we've seen in this game. So in my mind, this is how are they going to be able to use the Window from DCR. Oh no, DCR is so grouped up. Clutch Caliber just gets a crazy amount of burn damage from that Dynamite and finds 4 kills. And this is what I'm saying, it's just a battle of the ashes.
Yeah. Pretty much five of the Crusaders were on one window, and so of course DCR looked in that window. But that just gave Clutch Caliber all the space in the world to just take, free pop shots from up down DCR's back.
Oh no, Terrafew goes down. It looks like they're gonna go for the res. A good shield there from Mornitron covering that, and DCR is kind of struggling to get set up here on the high ground. They're gonna have to set up basically how Crusaders did previously, take this space and take a pretty aggressive push here, as Crusaders are getting a lot of free value here. Clutch Caliber using the Bob in the back, it's getting a fair amount of value. Mortitron almost down already, and a big flux again from Marcus into the Dragon, and
it's a Sig 9.
No one was on it. It's a little bit of a Sig 9 right there.
Yeah, pretty much all DCR could do was just watch cry as they were lifted up into the air and the car just kept flowing forward.
Yeah, I do think that that the Mercy and the Ash from DCR probably could have gotten on there. This was such a great play from Mornitron on point 1. But that is, Sport, that's just so sad for DCR. The map looked so winnable for them, and I would just love to see how much damage that one dynamite from Clutch Caliber actually hit, because I bet it was a couple hundred. It was with the supercharger. It was onto like 5 members of DCR. Clutch Caliber with 49% scoped accuracy. Those are crazy numbers that he's putting up.
Yeah, that was a very impressive retake. Fueled by Clutch Caliber, but also props whoever is calling the shots over at Crusaders Incorporated, because that off angle was filthy, to say the very least.
Absolutely. Just going all the way around the back, flipping the spawns on DCR with very little time left in the round. I mean, that was their last chance. That's a confidence play, and they executed it just about perfectly. And as we said, Clutch Caliber coming up with the pretty big hero play here.
Yeah. And pretty much just more of the same narrative we've been talking about the whole game, where it's the DPS of both teams who have been having the impact moments, and then they, it's just up to which team supports them better and which teams, sets them up for more success.
Yeah, I very much agree. And I will say DCR and Crusaders here certainly keeping me on the edge of my seat, as Crusaders in both of these maps so far. In the one they were not even one fight from losing Ilios. They were one fight from losing Rialto. They're just barely keeping their playoff hopes alive here. But a great game so far. They've managed to pull out both of those maps.
Yeah, and we were talking about the whole narrative of DCR wanting to shake the overrated title. And that there's no playoff stakes on the line for them. But I think this showing from them, despite being down 0-2, has been very strong and very respectable. They've done a rather good job of countering Crusaders' set plays, and then they've made the chaos look, just about as manageable as the rest.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think, DCR was less than a fight from winning both of those maps so far. And like you said, I think the 0-2 scoreline really, 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 really does not reflect the reality of how close this match has been so far. So, folks on the Nest this week, I guess it'll mostly be talking about playoffs and not necessarily talking about DCR, since they're not in the playoffs. But keep that in mind. They certainly have put up an effort here.
Indeed. With that being said, these players have been playing their hearts out. So I do think we are going to go to a 5 or so minute break, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Yeah, we'll see you after this break. Welcome back to Crusaders versus Danger Close Red, our last match of the Owlet regular season. Crusaders are up 2-0 after the break, and for those of you just joining us, just a reminder, Crusaders playing for their playoff hopes here. They have to not only win the match to go into playoffs, but they have to 3-0 Danger Close Red. So it kind of all comes down to this map.
Yeah, it is King's Row. It's going to be King's Row. Crusaders is known for running the Brawl comps along with the double bubble and the double shield that we've seen. I mean, their picture is quite literally the Reinhardt profile icon. So I feel like they have quite high expectations going into this map.
Absolutely, and I'd like to just take a moment and talk about the lineups that both teams are running, because Danger Close Red going into King's Row here has made a couple of swaps. They had Haltyon and Saucer came in for Xavier EXE and Mornotron, so their entire tank line getting swapped out, which, you know, obviously they could have some tanks. Maybe these guys are more accustomed to playing the Rein Zarya that King's Row is always going to favor. Over the like Monkey Sigma stuff that we've been seeing previously from Xavier EXE and Mornotron. But there's also an element of that swapping team members in a mid-match can be a little bit dangerous for momentum. Now, not that Danger Close Red, you know, they haven't been winning the map, so maybe they want to stall out some of the momentum here. But on Crusaders' side, a thing that many people have picked up here, they're running Fight on main tank and PT Hanley still on this sort of flex support role, which is not their usual lineup either.
Yeah, I'm certainly interested to see how it plays out. So I think we should be loading in to the map right about now. And we will see what compositions exactly they run. I actually haven't heard much about Halcyon or Salsa or Halcyon, perhaps.
Yeah, let me check their team card there. Are they on the team card? Oh, it's Danger Close Red. It's Halcyon. Halcyon.
Gotcha.
Halcyon is
So-
what it's listed. 3 syllables.
So I don't know much about Halcyon. Or Halcyon. I'm just gonna say
Yeah, that's
Halcyon.
gonna throw me off. I'm just gonna say Halcyon. I'm sorry, Halcyon. Halcyon, I'm sorry.
So Halcyon and Salsa, I don't know. I haven't seen much of them or heard much about them. They will be running out on the Rhine Zarya, or at least that's what they'll be choosing to begin with. They are again in the offender spawn. So I don't know what strengths this tank line is exactly playing to. Marcus will be playing the classic Rhine Diva that we often expect to see from Brawl teams, as is the DPS and the support lineups from Crusaders are also pretty standard. This is just good clean brawl.
A clean brawl on King's Row is exactly right, Spork. The Crusaders running very much the classic King's Row defensive comp for the first point here. And it looks like, oh my goodness, Clutch Caliber almost goes down early to a flash from Zebra Cookie. So DCR running a very similar comp with the Junkrat, which Final Gambit seems to have favored instead of the May here. And Zebra Cookie right away taking out Audacity. That's huge. I mean, DCR really able to take up the base. A dangerous pin from Fight does take out Halcyon, and Crusaders able to come back in, but DCR's already taken a tick and a half, and the fight is still going strong. Zebra Cookie finding these mid-fight picks onto Clutch Caliber, as Marcus is just trying desperately to hold this spot on the point, but Fight goes down mid-map. PT Hanley using his ult on the top, just trying to pump down as much healing as he can onto, I was going to say his tanks, but at this point it's just his tank and Marcus. But that goes down, and it's looking like DCR going to take this first point in great time here.
Yeah. It's a long fight, but it is only one fight, and you will certainly take that with Young King's Raw offense. Some great offense to finish off PT Hanley. But
crucially, Marcus did get the stagger spawn here, as did Clutch Caliber and PT Hanley, so they're spawning all the way back.
Yeah, and as we can see, DCR is looking to take space, fast and hard here. And
yeah,
really
Zebra
hard
Cookie
with
the Deadeye just completely zoning them out, really before any of them were even in sight. But really smart stuff from DCR, pushing up with 5 members of their team, just leaving 1 member on the point here, trying to hold this really good corner here. The ult is going to come in from Clutch Caliber. It does get the main tank there, but Final Gambit takes out Chinote, Zebra Cookie takes out Fight, and it's an even fight now at mid-fight.
One Clutch Caliber goes down.
DCR may be taking really good advantage of this positioning. Yeah, Saucer takes out PT Hanley, and it's looking like Audacity in the back is going to get staggered. I mean, that's almost going to be the point. It might not quite be the point, with the Lucio, with the Diva. It's very likely that Crusaders are going to be able to mount another full defense before the cart pushes to that second point. But DCR is going to be all the way back. They've still got 4 ults to work with here, and they're in a really good spot to take this.
Yeah, I thought DCR got caught out there, but apparently not. Both windows come out, deep with that as well.
No one goes down to the bomb or to the shatter. The shatter from the other side does get a couple, but Audacity with the big plays coming from up top finds 3 immediately. And again, hero plays from, well, I suppose it was Clutch Caliber on the prior map, I believe, but hero plays from whoever's playing the hit scan on the side of Crusaders, just finding these opportunities to pop off in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing with this last bit of King's Row is if you get someone onto that high ground and they're fairly uncontested, they can do a whole lot of damage, as we saw from Audacity right there.
And as we see from Audacity right now, he's getting back up just onto that spot. Audacity up there. BT Hanley's going to be up there. Marcus is going to be peeling for both of them in the back line there. And that fight crucially kind of reset also. So we're going to see Zebra Cookie coming out with the high noon here, but unlikely he's going to be able to find anything as, yep, the members of Crusaders did have plenty of time, although he does find Marcus, actually. He gets the mech, and that's big for Danger Close Red early in the fight.
It does D-Mech Marcus, and that seems to mark the beginning of the end. However, both beats come out. The Blizzard does come out as well.
Ooh, and it looks like Hailtian's going to go down here to that Blizzard, and now Audacity with the Deadeye instead finds Paradroid, finds Saucer's mech. Oh, that's not good for DCR. You know, I'd say spawns are a little bit in the favor of Crusaders here, and it looks like Crusaders are going to be able to push that back again. We're now at 2.5 minutes. DCR coming up again, you know, I'd say about the third fight in a row here, they're going to have a slight ultimate advantage. Both sides are going to have this window, but DCR has the Junkrat ult, is really close to the high noon, really close to the Shatter, about 25% closer than fight is going to be on the other side. So they're going to have to get on a fast fight, make good use of one or two of these ults, and bring us to second point here, or third point.
Yeah. This final game entire does feel like it will do a whole lot more now that they're going up against a Brawl as opposed to the poke that they saw in Rialto. They will be taking the high ground, so like we were talking about earlier, they will be contesting this finally.
Yeah, and an early catch on a Marcus doesn't actually manage to find that mech, but an interesting tire here from Final Gambit, as it's going to have to come out right where the entirety of Crusaders are looking, and it actually, like I said, it doesn't really manage to find a ton of value here, but Zebra Cookie's Deadeye maybe going to find more, but he gets stunned out of it, as Hailtian also finds no one with the Shatter, so like I said, they had to come in and find some early value with these ults, and they just didn't manage to make it happen. The fight is even here mid-fight, though, as Saucer finds two with the self-destruct, and that suddenly it's turned around the entire fight. It looks like DCR is going to be able to push Crusaders back here.
Yeah, they will have a little bit of survivability, but the D.Va and the Baptiste both go down pretty much right after the double bomb. So
yeah, you can't undervalue that D.Va bomb there from Saucer. I mean, I was really thinking that with the ults that were going to come online for Crusaders, they were going to be able to win that fight there, but the bomb finds two somehow, just out in the open.
Yeah, that being said, though, that means they do have it for this fight, so the Blizzard and the High Noon should both be coming out here. Blizzard almost gets stunned out, but doesn't quite. It will get 3, and Audacity will kill just about everyone with the High Noon.
Yeah, the High Noon's getting a lot of value in this game. You know, in the history of Overwatch, we've gone through some periods where High Noon has been not quite as useful. Obviously, we've seen DPS players using it just as a reload tech. We've seen people completely just not ever using Kree ult and just playing McCree but never using that ult. But the players from both sides here today managing to find a lot of value from those ults. As we see the amp matrix on both sides here, Terrafew finds fight early in the fight.
That's a big pick. Fight's gonna go down early, and that's not going to be a good sign for Crusaders here. They will be able to recontest before the point closes, but that's a lot of space given up.
Paradroid now ulting way from the back, manages to pressure out that sound barrier, which is going to be big for DCR, and he gets Clutch Caliber. Oh my goodness, that junk tire just went so far. Now DCR has 4 ults left in this fight to try to finish out this push, finish out this map here. Hailtian does get shattered, but a 6-man sound barrier from Paradroid comes through, and Zebra Cookie takes out Marcus. Or Chinote, excuse me, as Marcus goes out, and it looks like DCR are going to push this in with just under a minute on the clock. All things considered, very much a solid push from DCR.
It's a very good push, considering how hard they stalled on that towards the end of second point there, and also considering, I guess, to be nice about it, actually to be not nice about it, how little value their ults got, like towards the end of second and the beginning of third. That is actually quite impressive. And
they very much just threw a couple ults in there, didn't they?
They did, but actually at the end there, them throwing ults in was what staggered Crusaders and what made it a whole lot easier for them to to stop Crusaders from stalling the point out any longer and pretty much not them leave spawn, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so a great push from DCR. I mean, especially considering, you know, their attack on Rialto looked a bit stuttering at times. They didn't quite know how they wanted to pressure those high grounds. But, you know, maybe I was completely wrong. The tank duo of Hailtian and Saucer managing to get a ton of value, especially in that, you know, last fight on second point. And then they just managed to roll through third. I mean, Crusaders never really got a foothold on that third point.
No, they really didn't. It was just pick after pick, that was when the outside really came into play.
Yeah, now we're going to see a very pokey double shield comp here. So instead of the Brawl, they're opting for this Torb Ashe double shield, sitting up on the high ground, kind of daring Crusaders to have to come through all this open space. And it looks like Crusaders are just going to... I was going to say they were going to rush stairs, but they're actually just going to rush the point and say, all right, you want to play that high ground? We'll sit on the point. We're happy here. We're a Brawl team. You're going to have to come to us. And DCR is going to have to come to them at some point. Crusaders have already taken 2 ticks for free, and now the entirety of DCR is jumping down, except for Zebra Cookie taking up that poke spot up top. And it looks like DCR is taking some space, but Audacity takes out Paradroid. That's half of the healing from DCR gone. Marcus takes out Hailtian, and it looks like it's just going to be an easy first point from Crusaders. As fast as that first point was from DCR, it's going to be even faster here.
Yeah, it's another one fight take. But this one is a much faster fight. And that was kind of a misplay out of the on the side of DCR. With that poke comp, you want to play like a lot of the windows that the Brawl comp pretty much doesn't really have any place to bunker. Mm-hmm. But there, they just bunkered under that one high ground. They had one wall that pretty much shut off all the damage, and then, you know, rolled from there.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, DCR was really only set up in that one spot, and they got punished pretty hard for it. So Crusaders are now giving up a lot more space than DCR did on the attack. They're going back to kind of this third corner here. PT Hanley does go down early after using his windows, and DCR is just able to push straight through the window, take this point, and this is crucial now for DCR, especially if they're going to be able to get fight on the stagger here, and they do, because this choke right here, this, this archway here, is such a good spot for defenders, and DCR doing really what I would consider to be the smart thing, full swapping to Brawl here, at least their version of Brawl with a Junkrat instead of the Mei, and just saying, alright, the poke comp didn't work on point A, we just gotta mentally reset. They won this crucial first second point fight.
Yeah, I think Clutch Caliber's gonna want to take that wall back, because it pretty much got killed. He could have gotten out, he could have charged out, but Clutch blocked him.
Oh, now this is really interesting. Marcus, the only one who didn't flank around, so they kind of got some flanker value there. They do force the beat out of Chinote, but Marcus gets 3 in that fight with Final Gambit along with the 2 kills that he got from his ult, and Zebra Cookie finds Audacity, but it really doesn't matter. They're just stalling on the point at this point. Now, crucially though, because of where they took that, I'm assuming Crusaders are going to try to push up a bit with at least a couple members, but because of where that fight got taken, DCR guaranteed gets at least one more fight on this second point.
Yeah.
Whereas that just basically wasn't the case when DCR was pushing.
No. I mean, they pretty much it was a last-ditch effort for the entire time Crusaders were contesting on their defense.
Windows, High Noon's coming out from both sides, zoning them off. Zebra Cookie finds the better High Noon, though, pulling the trigger on Audacity a little bit earlier. Saucer coming in with the bomb, but this time it doesn't find anything. As Clutch Caliber, I think that's the first Blizzard we've seen that didn't quite find a lot of value. Hailtian just able to walk backwards out of that, and I think Fight might have gotten his ult canceled in the middle of that. I did hear the shatter, but it didn't go off.
And that's
Hailtian,
far
before the wall goes off, it's a huge shatter.
Yeah, Hailtian, the shatters from DCR have been kind of, I guess, inferior to fights throughout the course of this match, but Hailtian there just taking full advantage of Fight's misplay and showing him how it's done, laying down the hammer, laying down the wall.
And DCR even going to push up a little bit here, take a little bit more space, just be able to poke in a little bit with this Junkrat as they're going to have to come around this corner. And, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't think that the tank line that DCR was running earlier had any problems necessarily, but this tank line is showing their strength for sure, although Saucer, as I'm saying that, Saucer does go down pretty early in that fight, just got caught on that Mei wall. Final Gambit finds Audacity, though, and is now going for the tire over the top nose, going around the left. Beat coming out from both sides, and the High Noon from Zebra Cookie, so they're really trying to find this. They do find Chinote, and it's Crusaders on the back foot, just having to back up, lick their wounds, regroup again.
Yeah. Fight looked like he wanted to recontest there, but the tire thankfully didn't kill him and only broke his shield. But with that being said, he couldn't really do much at all, so he just had to charge out of there with his team. The old economy here isn't looking all that great for DCR. Actually, they will have both tankers coming online soon. But PT Hanley can get a very fast window here.
Yeah,
or
nope.
alternatively, Terrafu just goes down early, and the fight is effectively won.
Yeah, so now Crusaders, or DCR is just going to brawl out on the point. Haletian actually getting a ton of value from that shatter there, and Final Gambit finds 2 with a concussion mine. PT Hanley finding several kills late in the fight, but he and Audacity and Marcus just get cleaned up. I almost can't believe that that DCR won that fight. I mean, we saw the window coming out from PT Hanley, we saw the shatter coming out from Fight, but the shatter from Haletian was just a little bit better. Pulls out the clutch in that 4v5 situation. And now,
these shatters from Haletian are... These shadows have been crucial. They've been, fight winning on multiple occasions.
Yeah, and especially because they've kind of now reset this ult economy. I was going to say the Crusaders have both damage dealers ults here, but now Zebra Cookie coming in with a Deadeye of his own. So Clutch Caliber is going to have to find some real value here with this Blizzard coming out.
Saucer does get kind of caught up there. He will use the bomb just to get out and, protect his team from that right side.
Oh, Haletian charged through. I guess he was kind of stuck between a Blizzard and a hard place there. Saucer does find Audacity in the back, but it's unlikely they're going to be able to stall out on the point very long here. But that's a really, really, really good point to hold there from DCR Spork. I mean, they went from, what, like 3.5 minutes to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Maybe even more than 3.5 minutes, actually.
These icicles from Clutch Caliber, these icicles hurt. This guy has been hitting. When we spectate him, they have been hitting just about every icicle that I have seen.
Yeah, Clutch Caliber has been going nuts and creating a lot of value in this match. Marcus with the early bomb. Oh my goodness! How does it find Zebra Cookie and Haletian? Haletian looked like he had his shield up. Final Gambit now going for kind of a hero ult, and he does actually find PT Hanley and Fight. Suddenly it's more of an even fight here mid-fight, and Final Gambit is just enjoying the chaos that was created there. Saucer's stalling out on points, but the spawns are a lot better for DCR here, so even though Saucer goes down there, DCR is going to be able to take Marcus out of his ult, and they're going to be able to reset here, and now there's 60 seconds remaining for Crusaders. As again, DCR suddenly looking like they've kind of flipped the tables, and I wouldn't say they have an ult advantage, but the ults are pretty even here. But Clutch Caliber's coming up on this Blizzard once more, and he's been finding so much value from these.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to be a big one. This is very much down to the wire. This is last fight for the playoffs for Crusaders. The beat comes in, the Blizzard comes out. That's a big Blizzard.
Ults, and they're gonna be able to get a lot of value there. Paradroid using the beat late, but not really sure what that's going to be able to accomplish aside from buying some time on the point. Now DCR should have time. Oh, Paradroid with a crucial late stagger. DCR should be able to get back to the point. They have 4 ults to use here. Almost.
It's going to be a high noon coming out.
The zoning Deadeye is so big and they're just not able to touch.
That's a big wall from Clutch Caliber.
Tragic. Huge wall from Clutch Caliber. Clutch Caliber, undoubtedly, in this game so far, the MVP of King's Row. For sure. At least for the side of Crusaders. I mean,
Clutch Caliber has kept Crusaders in this King's Row map single-handedly, I would say.
Yeah.
He's the reason that we're going to a round 3. There have been big moments from Audacity, like with the stalling. Audacity has had its fair share of, big high noons, and Chinote's been getting some success from, finishing kills. But really, it's Clutch Caliber who's just popping off and getting these big blizzards. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. And, Skylar, this Junkrat from Final Gambit isn't as bad as we made it out to be.
Yeah, he's definitely finding some value in the mid-fights here. He's been able to pull out a couple of fights that look like they were going to be losses. DCR doing what I would call the very smart thing here, and they're going to swap back to the full brawl comp. They see the Lucio up there in the window as Final Gambit's walking back, so Crusaders are going to know there's a trap there. But DCR swapping back to this brawl comp saying, okay, we can't afford to give up a 30-second first point again. We're going to just try to out-brawl you. And the name of the game here for Crusaders is going to be, can they get a great wall from Clutch Caliber again, find one of these tanks, isolate them, burn it down, and make it a 5v6 early in the fight.
Yeah, in these round 3s on King's Row, you really don't want to give up the first point. Giving up the first point means you get a late spawn and overtime spawns. They hurt.
Oh, and a big wall, just like I was saying, does manage to find Halcyon and Saucer, but the Immortality Field comes out from Terrafew really big, saving both of those tanks. And
Marcus
now
goes
to
low.
the point, the tanks from Crusaders actually going low, but Terrafew does go down. That's most of the healing from the side of DCR already out of the game. But Fight and Chinote going down on their own. Audacity finds Halcyon, and it's Chaos, but Chaos is going to be benefiting Crusaders here. Marcus gets his mech back, Audacity finds Final Gambit really late, and Saucer has almost no health here. Saucer going to have a hard time even getting out of here with his life, let alone touching the point. Okay, he does manage to get some healing, but he loses his mech, just like I was saying. And it looks like DCR doing kind of the smart thing here and not really contesting this point.
They want
saying,
to hold this
okay,
arch, though.
yeah, we're not going to take the late spawn. We're going to fight the arch. Hopefully get Saucer back in his mech as soon as possible. As you can see, he's just trying to get as much of that ult percentage as possible. And while Crusaders is holding shield, trying to get back in this mech. Zebra Cookie almost at this ult, but we see Audacity here is actually sneaking up on top, going for an ult on his own. He's got this off angle, and he's got the Deadeye.
Yeah, holding this arch is really hard with that.
He's using it. I don't know if they know. Oh, Paradroid
That's a
actually
big
gives him.
move from Paradox.
And now it's Zebra Cookie with the ult as Final Gambit finds Fight, so they're going to be down in a main tank. Saucer again with the big ult and remake kill. Final Gambit doesn't manage to find anymore with his ult on his own, but DCR just using their ults better there, building their ults a little faster, using them a little better in that last fight.
Yeah, going into that, like, just looking at the percentages, I thought Crusaders would have the advantage there. Like, you really don't want to hold that arch when you don't have an ult advantage because, you know, as we said, you know, you get ulted on and then you die and then you're stuck in overtime spawns way back in the, you know, the back of third. But as it turns out, the first few ults in Crusaders don't really do much, and then that gives time for DCR to build theirs, and then they just roll them back. Saucer gets two, one with the crunch and one with the actual bomb itself, and here we are. There's a
really good fight from DCR there. That being said, this is very winnable for Crusaders. This is very, very winnable for Crusaders. I mean, they took first point, which on its own, if you have a minute, is a good push. They didn't manage to push very far after first point, but even just taking first is good. Now, DCR is going to have time for a couple of fights here. If you're DCR, the best case scenario is that you take first point in a fight where Crusaders hang around right up until the third tick is almost taken, and Crusaders just get final spawn and you basically win the map for free. But, yeah. You know, easier said than done, Sport.
That it is, my friend. And pretty much, well, this is do or die for Crusaders here, Skylar. This is, I mean, they have to play really solid, really good brawl, which they have been, to be fair. But they can't let Final Gambit get any of these, you know, mid-chaos picks, which he's been doing time and time again.
Absolutely. Fight taking a really aggressive position is supported by that Mei wall that comes out. But Fight and Marcus actually end up taking a lot of spam damage there, and they had to use that Immortality Field really early in the fight as Fight goes down. And suddenly DCR's well on the upfoot, but Audacity does find Terrafew, and again, that's most of the healing gone from the side of DCR. Final Gambit finds PT Hanley, though, and neither Baptiste is alive on either side. Marcus out of his mech is just going to try to build it back as fast as possible, but he's going to die on the point, and Clutch Caliber gets killed there. Audacity killed at the end, so a really, really clean fight from Danger Close Red, but it's not the situation that I was talking about. You know, it looks like everyone on the side of Crusaders is going to be able to get that forward spawn, so not so lucky for Danger Close Red. Now, Danger Close Red has time for one, maybe 1.5, 2 fights here. They're a little ahead on some of these ults. You know, if they can get... Oh my goodness, Zebra Cookie gets a pick on the Clutch Caliber immediately, and now he's pushing through with his Deadeye, with the Immortality Field. They're just zoning Crusaders completely off the point. No one from DCR is even on the cart right now, but they don't need to be on the cart, Sport. They're just taking this space. They know that Crusaders has these far spawns. Crusaders now down, I believe, 3 people. And it looks like DCR might take this map and end Crusaders' playoff dreams.
It's gonna have to be a big touch from Marcus here.
Is Marcus even gonna be able to touch? Wait, did he get trapped? Did he get trapped in a junk trap?
I think he got trapped. I think he got flashed.
I think he was in a junk trap and then got flashed and then charged. Oh my goodness!
The final gambit.
Danger Close Red takes King's Row, and I mean, don't get me wrong. This series is not over. It's 2-1.
No,
Crusaders can very much still win this series, but that was the all-important map for Crusaders. They're eliminated from the season playoffs with that map win from Danger Close Red.
Yeah.
Wow! What a map! Look at these numbers that are being put up by PT Hanley, by Fight, by Final Gambit. Honestly, hero plays from both teams. Like that, you can't really fault anyone for the losses there. There were maybe some positioning errors that both teams punished really well with the walls from Clutch Caliber, and with Hailtian just being willing to go in swinging, get the support from that Immortality Field from Terrafew on his team. Wow.
WoW is right. WoW is right. I mean, this whole match has been a tale of hero plays, but I feel like King's Row was just took that to a whole other level. Like there was some. Actually, it was a combination of both. Like there was some hero plays from the likes of Clutch Cat and Saucer and Final Gambit, but there was also like a whole lot of team play to negate a lot of the ults coming out from both sides. Like Clutch Caliber would Blizzard and then Danger Close Red, and then Paradroid would just speed all of DCR out of the Blizzard, and then they would go back in and win the fight. And it was just really impressive from both teams and nail-bitingly close. But in the end, it comes down to Marcus flying into a Diva trap, and
in the end, it came down to Zebra Cookie finding Clutch Caliber on the May right when they hit that. The Diva trap was. There's no guarantee that Crusaders would have had any ability to do anything there.
Yeah, no, I misspoke. I meant like in the very, very end, like in the quite literally in the end.
Yeah. And I've been saying it this whole series, for the side of Danger Close Red, Zebra Cookie looks so good on the McCree. And that whole map basically was able to play the Cree and just found a lot of value. And we've really got a series on our hands. I mean,
we do.
I think a lot of those first two maps, neither one of them was definitive for Crusaders necessarily in any way, really. But I think there are plenty of people who were expecting Danger Close Red not to win a single map this series, and they have proven that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the series, I guess, technically doesn't hold much weight as so long as the playoff scene goes at this point in time, but it is still it's still very exciting Overwatch. So I mean, stick with us because there's a whole lot more fun games to watch and a whole lot more just general good times between myself and Skylar and the players on both Crusaders and DCR.
Yeah, and like you said, Crusaders definitely have a bit lower stakes here. I mean, still very much playing for honor, playing for this win, playing for their spot in the overall standings. Danger Close Red, honestly, I'm sure they very much still want to win this series. I'm sure they very much still want to prove that they deserve the spot that they have in the overall standings of the league.
Yeah,
also, if I'm Danger Close Red, especially after those first two maps, you feel good about just having taken one. You feel good about having crushed the playoff dreams of Crusaders. I don't feel good about it. I mean, Crusaders players are just going to really have to reset to try and finish out this series, because I'm sure they're thinking about playoffs right now, and the fact that match was all important for that. But for DCR, I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been a tale of just like very, very close fights that could go one way or the other, and then one player from one team just barely pulls it out. And for the first two maps, that went the way of Crusaders, and that can always be frustrating for the likes of DCR. But I'm sure it feels beyond great to finally have those those very close fights pay off for DCR.
Yeah, I agree. The first couple maps kind of just felt like a little bit of a coin flip there. I mean, like I talked about earlier, both of those maps balanced on a single team fight. You know, there were points in both of those maps where Danger Close Red was one team fight away from winning the map, and they just didn't pull it out either time. But this time they did. This time they pull out that last team fight on King's Row. They, you know, Zebra Cookie just gets a great pick onto Clutch Caliber, and they go onto it. It looks like we're gonna be going on to Volskaya Industries for the next map, and it looks like neither team is going to make any swaps. So Danger Close Red going to keep this tank duo of Haletian and Saucer. And, you know, Spork, I don't think either of us was necessarily doubting this. I think we were just kind of wondering what this tank duo was going to bring to the table over Xavier XE and Mornatron. And I think that question has been thoroughly answered.
Yeah. Pretty much far and away. I love what I've seen from both Halcyon and Saucer. They've both brought a whole lot to the table. And you know, Xavier and Morn both had, you know, their own moments when in the maps that they were in, but it seemed like it just feels like subbing in Halcyon and Saucer has given DCR that last little bit to like just push them over the edge of those like back and forth fights we've been talking about. Yeah,
absolutely. And from Halcyon, I mean, it's been a lot of just raw aggression, which I feel like at times Fight hasn't quite been sure how to deal with. Looks like we are going to be loading into Volskaya here. The first attack this time will be from Crusaders. So Crusaders with a side swap, they'll, for the first time in the series, be the first ones attacking on this map.
Yeah. And, I mean, just one last thing before we get into Volskaya. I feel like Fight has at times tried to match the aggression from Halcyon, and at times tried to, I guess, just kind of sit back and take it. And neither has had 100% success rate. They've both led to, you know, wins and losses. So
yeah,
I think,
and I don't necessarily think the losses, like, I don't know. I don't think a lot of those things were Fight's fault. It's like Danger Close has some really good set plays with Halcyon and Saucer and Terrafew working well together to give Halcyon all of the resources that he needs to take that space. It's interesting, we're seeing very different play styles here on Volskaya already, though, where Halcyon and Saucer, no surprises, going for a Rhine Brawl comp with that Junkrat, with that McCree. They feel good. They just won playing basically this exact comp. Whereas on the side of Crusaders, they're going to play the Monkey Double Bubble with a Pharah Mercy, actually, and then a Tracer.
Yeah. Blue, I think you as a Fire enthusiast are going to have a great time this map because, well, I'm starting to say that I think you're going to be able to watch the Fire get a lot done, but as he says that, he just gets trumped down by Zebra Cookie, which is just...
I love playing Far on this map. QG Hop never lets me, our coach on the Beefers. But yes, I mean, Farah, you can see, is getting a lot of value here. Chunking down Saucer, gotta be really careful with Zebra Cookie on the off angle, though. Although, as I say that, Zebra Cookie also has to be careful not to get booped off. A really fast window here from Terrafew gets just a ton of value, allowing them to clear out the point, but Paradroid goes down on the other side.
Yeah. Close does go down, but that might be resible. No, Chinante gets stunned out of the
oh
res.
My goodness. Zebra Cookie with the hero play. Zebra Cookie got Clutch Caliber there and then went for the roll and the flashbang immediately onto Chinote. That was a bold play, and it paid off, Cotton.
That it did. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder how sustainable this this strategy is if DCR is kind of bunkering down in this mega room to the left here.
Yeah, I mean, the nanoed monkey, and then also, I was just gonna say Audacity is still sitting way in the back. Audacity does actually find Zebra Cookie, although Zebra Cookie was able to take out the Pharah did get res, so now it's a 65 in favor of the Crusaders. They are going to use the beat and try to come out with that 5-man sound barrier, taking out Chinote.
The Graphic Marcus is not going to get anybody wide. From what I could tell.
It goes wide.
It does go wide, high and outside, let's say.
But at this point, it is looking like it's Crusaders' fight to lose. I mean, Crusaders having a slightly better spawn here. They still have their main heals in the Ana. They still have both of their DPS, I believe, alive. Clutch Caliber dies right as I say that. But it does look like Crusaders are likely going to be able to take this point as they mop up Zebra Cookie and Halcyon and take the fight.
Yeah, it's not going to be nearly as clean as they would have liked, though. A little bit of tactical crouching coming out from Audacity on the body of Zebra Cookie. It goes to show just how much Zebra Cookie has been doing, such
We
that
do a little bit of
Crusaders
trolling.
is that happy to shut him down.
Yeah, tactical crouching, you know what they say, is the sincerest form of flattery.
Indeed, indeed.
That's what
Unless
they say that about.
you're like, the hacking or something, in which case...
Oh, yeah, no, nothing. Alright, Audacity here, again, gonna be in the back line, but this time not quite as unchecked as Saucer and Terrafew do put some pressure on them. The Nano Monkey gonna come in immediately, but Zebra Cookie taking out both of the members of the pharmacy and PT Hanley in the back with that great headshot on the backside there. So, really good plays again from Zebra Cookie, just looking so clean on this McCree.
Yeah, I mean, usually, like, on paper you look and you see, like, okay, Brawl loses to Pharmacy a lot. But the way DCR have been playing this, they've just been kind of, been reminding themselves that they're unkillable. They have a bat, they have a Reaper on the ground, and then Zebra Cookie's just been single-handedly pounding the Pharmacy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see from the numbers, though, Clutch Caliber has been able to output a lot of damage, as they are actually able to take out Terrafew there. Chinote does get taken out, but Clutch Caliber, like I said, almost 5,000 damage already at this point in the map is pretty impressive, and Crusaders getting some good work done with your ults there with a great pulse bomb from Audacity on Halcyon, and really 2 good kills from Fight with the Primal Rage.
Yeah, DCR is going to be looking to stall here. They will still run out on the Rhine, questionably. However,
they should be able to touch.
Paradroid,
Paradroid has that beat, so he's at least going to be able to touch the point with the Zebra Cookie on the Cree. Both of them actually finding kills early in the fight, and now it's going to be Saucer back on the point. Saucer crucially having that self-destruct to reset and get a new mech if he needs. Chinote able to use the ult to keep 2 alive, but Saucer gets another 2 kill, but he gets killed before he can get out of the mech, and round 1 complete. That's going to be point 2 with 231 in the bank for Crusaders.
Yeah, it was looking like DCR was going to get a last-second stall there, but, Saucer sends the bomb up into the air and dies before he hits the ground, really. And then DCR pretty much has no one on the point because they were all playing off the back of that bomb. So...
we say in the biz, unlucky, really.
Unlucky, really.
No, for real though, it was a pretty good barrage from Clutch Caliber, able to find a lot of value there, and they just forced him out.
Yeah, it was, it killed Saucer and then zoned anyone else. Like, I saw Terrafew standing on the edge there kind of hesitantly because, I mean, you go in, you get hit by 15 rockets at the same time, you don't exactly have a good time. So, yeah, Clutch Caliber, at time, you live by the Clutch Caliber and you die by the Clutch Caliber. Like, was the case on Kingsborough, actually, and what is the case here. He's been on the fights where he dies first, their team gets rolled, and, Zebra Cookie counters him to right. But then, if he lives within 5 seconds of the start of the fight, he kills everyone. So, it's a two-sided coin here.
Actually, kind of amazing how that happens. Now, Zebra Cookie now going to be on the Ashe, a role that we've only seen a little bit of in this series on that King's Row defense. It didn't work out super hot, and the double shield is going to be interesting here. So they're going to want to push through this left room, go up the stairs to the high ground. Clutch Caliber getting a ton of spam damage, and look at the Clutch Caliber ult percentage, almost at 60% already, and we're less than 30 seconds in. They're going to have to take out this Pharmacy in the sky, or Clutch Caliber is just going to get a crazy early barrage or something onto them. Although, as I'm saying that, Terrafew does have a window, but Clutch Caliber with the crazy early barrage. Chinote looking for the res gets a bit risky here. Yeah, if only someone had called the crazy early barrage.
Yeah.
No, they just rotated a little too slowly there. I don't want to say maybe they needed a Lucio or anything necessarily, but maybe they just needed to maybe even go a little bit slower and have that shield coverage go down a little bit more so that Clutch Caliber couldn't quite spam out that much ult percentage. At any rate, they're just not able to hold that high ground and get their DPS to get value.
Yeah, those big grouped up rotations where Clutch Caliber was salivating over that. He saw 2 people on 2 stationary shields and he he got real excited real fast. And it seems to be pretty much happening again, although in this case, DCR seems to be sitting at the better, like double-pronged or so attack. Where they have...
DCR are actually going to be able to take this high ground here, and we'll see if they can hold it, as Zebra Cookie is getting a lot of pressure put on by Clutch Caliber.
Nice shots
Clutch
from Zebra
Caliber
Cookie.
taken down, and Chinote in short measure.
Zebra
Cookie
Cookie
looking kind of clean with it.
Mechanically speaking, Zebra Cookie is very good.
Oh yeah.
I am surprised I didn't run into this guy in the Widow tournament because he is very good at aiming.
He do be an aimer.
Coach will be setting down the supercharger just to...
This is interesting. Crusaders actually using 3 ults in this, but they threw down the supercharger. It looks like they're going to be able to actually retake it. I was saying it as, you know, this might be a little bold of them, but they are able to push off that hold. Maybe I, was kind of misjudging that, but really good ult from Chinote, really good ult from Fight, really good just positioning from Fight, able to stay alive throughout the majority of that brawl.
Yeah, as a main support myself, I just want to say that's a fight-winning res from Chinote right there. If Clutch Caliber doesn't come back by Chinote's hands, he doesn't, kill 3.
Get a barrage and kill, yeah.
DCR wins.
No, you're right.
So,
I mean, you're absolutely right.
So, yeah, it's pretty much back to square one now for
the
DCR.
problem here from DCR is this comp is just so telegraphed, Oh, a really good pick on a Clutch Caliber. Gonna see if Chinote's... Now, Chinote not gonna be able to get a res off there. Saucer does actually kind of waste that Flux as Chinote died right as the Flux went off. But it does look like... Oh, they might be able to take it, although...
That's a much larger
Gravitic Flux gets 2, but it does get stunned out, I believe, there. And now it looks like DCR is going to be able to take this first point. So a fight later than they wanted to, but they are going to be able to take it. Like we said for Crusaders, not necessarily in the best form, but hey, a point's a point.
That it is. That was a... I think that must have been a rock coming out from Saucer that canceled that Flux to Marcus.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I could have done a lot of damage, but Saucer threads the needle and gets the cancel onto Marcus.
I'm expecting to see windows coming out from both teams here, but you can see Clutch Caliber going around this left side looking for a barrage, and he finds a barrage, but it doesn't get any. The Immo field coming in super quickly from Terrafew, and they get both of the Pharmacy, and now they're going to be able to push through, use this window, use this Mercy ult, and take this space really quickly.
Yeah, Terrafew's gotten cut out a few
BT
times.
Hanley's window, but I didn't see it.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle of DCR. I think.
I never saw it. I straight up couldn't find it. Chinote gets another hero res on the Fight, but is that going to be enough to hold it off?
He will go
Probably
down right
not.
after
His
this
Fight
time.
does go down.
Marcus is back on the ball, and he can't stall for a while, although, as I say that, he gets melted immediately.
So pretty much even attacks from these two teams. Yeah, 2 minutes to 2:06 is not going to be far off. And, I just got to celebrate Clutch Caliber and Pharah players everywhere. Look at that damage. Ooh, baby.
Oh, okay.
He's doing work.
I did not expect this cast to turn into a routine Pharah agenda push, but here we are.
Any cast with me in it is a Pharah routine agenda push.
You did shout out our coach QG Hop on the air, so I think he will let you play Pharah for one map.
I gave you clout, Charlie.
But yeah, it's as pretty much what I said before. They've been living and dying by the Clutch Caliber. If he either goes down very early, not to any fault of his own really, it's just Zebra Cookie has been very good at finding these early picks. He either goes down early by the hands of Zebra Cookie, just being a point-and-click adventure game master, or he kills 3 and gets massive value, and then Crusaders wins the fight.
Yep. I don't really have anything to add to that. Yeah, that's pretty much correct. Clutch Caliber not on the Pharah here though on defense. It's going to be the double shield poke comp with the double sniper in the form of the Ashe Hanzo. I really like this comp here, and it's also going to be pretty effective at denying the double shield from the other side because you can get so much spam, so much poke in as they're trying to cross these wide open areas, and you can already see actually DCR changing their mind about which direction they want to push through. Only Zebra Cookie going through this this left room from their perspective, and the rest of the team coming up the other side to try and contest the Orisa. But even as they're going through this spot, I mean, Clutch Caliber already at 20% of his ult. Here's something interesting. It looks like Crusaders are actually contesting it really close instead of rotating to the other high ground. Clutch Caliber almost goes down really early in the fight, but is going to be able to be saved by PT Hanley. And DCR now with a lot of free space, and Zebra Cookies on the flank on the off angle.
Yeah, this tactic of, you know, 4 people go one way and then Paradroid and Zebra go the other has worked out so far.
Yeah.
Especially with Zebra hitting the headshots like that.
And they were able to take out the Ashe and the Mercy on the other team, and you know they're having a hard time kind of slow playing it to get people on the point. But Terraph, you're able to find 2 with the window, and it's unquestionable who's been in charge of this fight. It's been DCR since those first 2 picks, even though I believe it was who was it though? Was it Final Gambit that went down on the other side, or Halcyon? Someone went down to Audacity, but even with that, you know, DCR was well in control, and they're going to take this first point uncontested and be coming up on some decent ultimates coming into this second. They're going to be closer to the Bob by about 15% and really close to Mercy ult.
Yeah, this Bob is going to be a great point presence. However, Audacity does have the Dragon, and this is a very, I guess, lane-y point, this Volskaya attack. So Audacity can just pretty much deny one of the 2.
Yeah, and we've seen Audacity get a lot of value out of the Dragon already in this series, but as we say that, DCR is able to pick up a point. Oh, I was going to say they're able to pick up some space on the point, but it looks like they're going to go down, and that will almost certainly be the end of this push. The Bob getting a fair amount of value, although Paradroid getting a headshot on the Clutch Caliber with the Glock. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just style moves right at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, in a vacuum, those were some, I guess, very hopeless ults, but DCR pretty much knew that they weren't going to be coming back to touch the point once they lost that fight. So they just figured, you know, hey, we've flipped fights with one ult, you know, at various other times in this match. Why not do it? Or, you know, why not try to do it again? So they throw it on the supercharger, the visor, and hope for the best.
Shinote, I don't think all chat is enabled on the stream, but Shinote in all chat, Paradroid said, well played, Mercy, and Shinote said, I hit my phone and couldn't turn far enough right to kill you faster. Yeah, alright. Classic Overwatch moment.
Improvement is the key, Shinote. You know,
exactly.
next time you kill Paradroid faster. The next time move your phone and then kill Paradroid faster.
Next time maybe go put your phone wherever it was.
So we're pretty much Crusaders is going to switch it up here. They're going to run on the double level, which I don't think we've seen them play this map yet. They ran out on. Oh, actually we did, but the first time around it was with the pharmacy, and this time they just had Clutch back on the Ashe.
That's correct. Yeah.
He seemed to, you know, be quite done with getting popped by Zebra Cookie time and time again. So he's just deciding to do some popping himself.
Yep, so it's going to be pretty divey along with the Ashe Mercy that are probably going to try to take an off angle again like they did and poke from the side or the back, maybe get up onto this high ground here. Meanwhile, we've got the double shield kind of pokey comp from the other side. Okay, so Crusaders are on the point.
Crusaders are on the point, and there's not really...
Zebra Cookie able to take out PT Hanley, though. But a really, really big burn from Clutch Caliber brings him up to 50% of his ult charge on the Bob. Chinote does manage to res PT Hanley. Saucer finally going to go down and contest the point, but only after they've given up a tick already. Zebra Cookie does take out Marcus, though, and that's going to, you know, they're going to be able to take out Fight here, stuck in this little cubby, and that's probably going to be the fight. But, you know, a tick's not bad. They built up the ult there. They do take out Paradroid late in the fight, and that's the perfect pickup late in the fight because can't res that.
No, you cannot.
Final
Dude.
Gambit and Paradroid going to be, oh no, I'm sorry. Paradroid alone going to be running back from spawn. Zebra Cookie's going to go try and taxi him. And if we see a quick bob here from Clutch Caliber, DCR might be able to, or I'm sorry, Crusaders might be able to pick up this point.
That's a big pick to start off, though. Audacity going down early. I think that might be in the backline. I'm not quite sure.
It was on the backline. Audacity had gone around to get Paradroid on the side. The Bob going down early. Audacity does actually manage to get rezzed right under the bridge there. The Soldier ult from Final Gambit's going to come out, find Marcus, find Audacity, find just a ton of value here, as the Monkey on Fight is going to die really late in the fight, and Clutch Caliber and Chinote are just stuck up here now. I mean, they're kind of just stalling themselves. Ooh, Chinote's just running away.
PT Hanley's stuck at the bottom. I don't know if they know about him, but he's just
oh my goodness, I didn't
there.
even notice him. He is just crouching.
Yeah,
so
he's not making a sound.
Crusaders gonna push in with very little heals. PT Hanley will see, maybe he can hit a massive nade. He's really close to the Nano. And he gets taken down by Zebra Cookie. They did notice him after all. Chinote goes for the res, but Zebra Cookie takes out the other support as well. And now Zebra Cookie is just running wild. It's a firing range for Zebra Cookie. Both supports down. Clutch Caliber's going to go down. Audacity's going to go down. And Danger Close Red are going to bring us to a map 5.
This has been I'm having so much fun this series. It's
Dude, me too.
It has just been so... To be honest, I had not heard about Zebra Cookie much at all before this game.
This dude can aim.
Yeah, I mean, you know about like I guess the well-known Ashes, if you will, with Talo 40 being one of our own. But I don't think Zebra Cookie had been mentioned in those discussions much at all. But he's really showing up and showing out here against Crusaders. He has been proving crucial to these 2 map wins and to the how close Crusaders' 2 map wins have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. This has not been a flawless map, or not even match from either team.
Oh, no,
there have been a lot of mistakes on both sides, a lot of positioning errors, some interesting compositional choices, some interesting kind of engagement timing, some interesting, staggers happening really late in the fight.
There's been
all
some
sorts
Overwatch.
Of stuff.
There's been some Overwatch.
It has been an Overwatch match, but man, can Zebra Cookie aim.
That he can. And as we've said, when DCR gives him the space to do so, he just kills everything. He kills everyone.
Absolutely. So we're going to go to a map 5. It's going to be Busan, and
I really want to see a Clutch versus Zebra Cookie Widow duel here.
Dude, I'd kill for that. We're almost certainly, we could maybe see it on Downtown, I suppose. I think it's unlikely that we're going to see it, but that being said, I think it's really interesting that, we think back to map 1. Danger Close Red was really close to winning map 1. Danger Close Red could pull out this series.
Yeah, they could. It's quite possible here. Although Crusaders has looked a bit more comfortable on this, I guess, poke style of composition. That DCR has been very much favoring this brawl, this junk brawl, which not the most traditional thing, but if it works, and so it goes.
True.
But yeah.
So there is going to be a swap here, Spork. Danger Close swapping in Xavier EXE back for Halcyon. So, our suspicions are confirmed. Halcyon is basically their Rhine player. Yeah. Xavier EXE is going to be more of probably their Monkey, maybe ball player. Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. Saucer staying in over Mornotron makes me wonder if DCR is going to favor like a double bubble comp here, because it seems like they've been wanting to play Saucer more onto sort of the Zarya picks, and maybe Mornotron more on the Sigma. I'm thinking maybe they're going to play a double bubble thing here. Obviously for Mecha Base, it's It's mecha base, whatever,
Right.
But downtown, and then is it Shrine? Is that Busan? I think it's Busan
Yeah.
Shrine.
Sure.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
no. That's Nepal.
that's
Uh,
Nepal. Is it
down
Sanctum? Nope, that's
Sanctum.
Nepal.
That's also Nepal.
I thought that was
Uh-oh.
Nepal.
Um,
I don't know. Which the one
Drum.
with the drum? I
Drum.
call it drum. I call it Busan Drum. I've never called it the real name, but
So
yeah, we're gonna get back in it, and on those two rounds, there could be some more interesting comps.
yeah, I mean,
That being said, we're gonna start on mecha base, so ignore me.
I think it'll be like Salsa has shown a liking for this diva. So I think it could be either a double bubble or a full rush comp from map 1. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they play this. But I say that. But first thing we see, I guess it is mecha based. So Xavier EXE does go onto the Rhyme in Final Game, but does go on to the Junk. So it'll be more of this Junk brawl that they've been very comfortable on. Well, on the
A lot
other
of comfort
side,
picks out here, yeah, from DCR at least.
yeah, on the other side we'll have Clutch on the Doomfist, and that'll be a sight to see.
Yeah, so we've got kind of this like buzzsaw DPS combo of the Reaper and the Doom, where Reaper obviously going to just do a lot of frontline damage to the shields, to the tanks. Doom going for these kind of off angles onto the Rhine, getting that early aggression. Although it's Final Gambit that actually takes out Audacity early in the fight. The Doomfist is going for more pressure onto the tanks and actually gets a big punch onto Saucer. But when you're hitting the tanks, you're not going to get those early picks. And Zebra Cookie finds the Immortality Field from PT Hanley, and it's going to be DCR just taking that early presence, taking that early fight. Clutch Caliber and Audacity not quite able to find the value that their counterparts on Danger Close Red were. And Danger Close Red now in control of the point.
Yeah, it's I think.
Oh my
goodness! Oh my goodness!
Zebra Cookie
cannot be stopped. The snowball has started rolling and is getting exponentially larger by the second for Zebra
This
Cookie.
man hit the aim button.
Everyone is just aim lab balls to this individual. So yeah, Terrafuse's gonna pretty much shut down that angle, but no matter for Crusaders, they're just gonna run around to the other one.
Yeah, extremely early window coming out from Terrafew. Does manage to find PT Hanley, but yeah, we're coming up on 40% here, and Crusaders not even really close to any ults aside from that window. Whereas DCR coming up on the Creole, coming up on Shatter, it's looking really good for DCR. Oh my goodness, Zebra Cookie actually hit an early flashbang there and gets the ult onto Chinote. Somehow Chinote was outside of that Immortality Field. Audacity's trying to flank around, but it's just too late. Chinote's down, Clutch Caliber's down, and Audacity's gonna just have to try to fade out and make it out of this one alive, but I'm not even sure he's gonna be able to, and he's not. Oh no. Crusaders just look like they want to take these longer, slower fights, let Audacity kind of flank around. Zebra Cookie says, no, I'm going to be in your face, I'm going to hit the flashbang right away, and I'm going to press Q.
Yeah,
And now they're in danger of a big shatter, but it doesn't actually come through from Xavier. Fight does block it, but Final Gambit takes out PT Hanley in the back, and Saucer takes out Chinote with an ult. Clutch Caliber finally finding... Clutch Caliber's finally finding some value with that, but it looks like it's going to be DCR again, although as I'm saying that, Clutch Caliber finding another pick goes down to a trap from Clutch. Or from Final Gambit, excuse me.
Incredibly unfortunate how he seismic slammed into the trap and thus didn't get any of the damage.
Yeah, that's gonna be an unlucky. That's gonna be an F in chat. Paradroid gonna be coming back from spawn, almost at his beat here, and this is looking like a clean first round coming out from Danger Close Red here.
Well, we say that, but this last fight has been very scrappy and very tradey. But the moment I say that, DCR decides to, put their foot on Crusaders and just, not
or
let
have you
them
noticed
go
how many
any
times
further.
we've caster cursed something today?
It has been.
It's been a lot. There have been so many times that I've been like, this person is getting a ton of value and they're dead.
Yeah, I think I'm at least in the double digits at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how Drum plays out. It's
So this is interesting. Both teams opting for these Rhine rush comps. Oh no, okay, fight is gonna go. Looks like DCR doesn't want to swap. They're riding the high of the previous round and they feel good.
yeah. Zebra Cookie has decided that, you know, this is the best way for him to go kill things, and he, you know.
And I agree. Honestly, yes. Zebra Cookie needs to be on the crate here. Clutch Caliber is gonna need to be able to find a lot of value here from the Sombra out of these hacks and out of these EMPs, but fighting in this small space is not really gonna be it for Crusaders. As I say that, Saucer does get demeched and killed. DCR is gonna be moving to the point, trying to take this really stationary fight as their comp would want, and they do actually take the first control of the point, but they're just getting wiped up by Crusaders here, and Crusaders are gonna be able to take the point eventually.
Yeah, that was actually a great place for DCR to fight in that big drum room to the right, but they just, I guess, didn't have enough focus fire and nothing really died. I was kind of looking for Crusaders to back up and take it slow and then, you know, rush back in when DCR rotated, but no, they just kind of stood there, took it, and went back in.
Yeah, and now DCR is having to push in, but they're actually pushing in really well, splitting up Crusaders. Xavier finds Chinote, Final Gambit using that ult really well, and Zebra Cookie is now going to be able to take this angle and just go wild with it with the firing range again. One thing I'd like to point out here, as Danger Close Red is going to be able to flip the point at about 35% here, is the ult bank is looking real nice for Crusaders here. Clutch Caliber is going to be coming out with the EMP, PT Hanley back on the Moira with the Coalescence himself, Chinote with that beat if they need it. So if they can take a quick fight, like put pressure on the point like they are doing right now and use some of these ults, get value out of them, they can do real good here. And
That's
as I'm saying that, they get a
EMP.
5-man EMP pair. There's nothing you can do about that.
No.
And that's a cheap, well, no, it's not a cheap fight actually. They do use 3 ults. I thought it was just the EMP and Coalescence, although Paranoid finding PT Hanley late in the fight, but it's cleaned up for Crusaders.
Yeah, no. I guess fight must have gone down low or something, because I don't really see a reason for him to...
Yeah, I wasn't really watching fight in that fight. It's really confusing to say that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really watching him.
Did get 3 with the Coalescence, so we can't really blame that, but... I guess I'm going to go back and watch that fight from Fight's perspective.
Marcus going for the hero bomb in the back, doesn't really get anything. Does get the immortality field out, but not a ton else. As Xavier EXE is gonna, I think that Shatter got 3. It got PT Hanley, Audacity, and Marcus there. Audacity's ult finds one that gets shut down later in the fight, and it's looking like Danger Close Red should be able to close out this fight. Oh, although, as I'm saying that, fight finds 2 actually late in the fight. Zebra Cookie's still finding these great angles onto the tanks, finding these mid and late fight picks, as he's been doing all series. And Zebra Cookie just pulling through for DCR when they needed him the most. They're going to find this flip and keep this round alive.
Yeah, I sure hope any Overwatch devs are not watching this, because otherwise they're going to, you know, completely remove hitscan from the game after they're seeing what Zebra Cookie is doing to these fools.
Yeah, this is post-nerf McCree, and this man is finding value. And this is going to be kind of just a zoning high noon. As Clutch Caliber is going to be looking for the EMP here, I'm thinking. And it finds 4, including both of his supports, so no immortality field there. They do get 2 right away. Clutch Caliber himself does get taken down, but Final Gambit finding 2 himself. The flip does come through, but it's an even fight on the point. Xavier EXE just finding so much aggression. Walking in, just swinging. Marcus is going to get taken down really late in the fight, and all of a sudden, Spork, we're looking really good for Danger Close Red winning this series here.
It really is. I mean, the ults don't look all that great for DCR. We have 2 coming online for Crusaders very soon. Oh, that's not a good pick. Losing Chinote that early is not good for anything. Neither is a loss of fight. Oh my goodness.
Unless Gambit is getting so much value in this fight. Ooh, Saucer able to take out PT Hanley right after the Coalescence ended there, I believe. Terrafew takes out Audacity, and it's just going to be down to Marcus. on the point, trying to sit up top, stall as long as possible. The ball is coming back in the form of fight, but it's just stags at this point, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. Danger Close Red takes Busan, takes map 5, takes the series in a reverse sweep against Crusaders after losing the first 2 maps, barely winning King's Row. I've got goosebumps.
This was such a fun series to watch, and I'm so glad that I got to be here. But, oh my, wow, oh wow. What? I feel like I should like put out a formal apology, and I guess I am now for I guess doubting even the Final Gambit Junkrat.
I've got the mod check doubters. I was just thinking the same thing. You know, Final Gambit's Junkrat, exactly when he got that early pick in that last fight, I thought mod check doubters, and I thought, oh, I'm the doubter. I was the doubter on Final Gambit's Junkrat, and I will not doubt that anymore. Wow, that was just an incredibly fun series to watch. Incredible games, and I think Danger Close Red has proven something that they struggled to prove for the entirety of the kind of second half of the season here, which is that they are not a team to be trifled with.
No, not at all. As you said, it did come a bit late in the season, but I think they're still going to walk away from this feeling very happy with themselves, because that was a very good showing, and it looked like they had practiced and scrimmed very thoroughly and knew how to play their strengths against their opponent's weaknesses, and that's how you win. That's how you win in Owlet.
It is, and some teams in Owlet, we see teams making a lot of adjustments mid-match. That wasn't necessarily what we saw from Danger Close Red here. It seemed like they were really sticking to, with the exception of a couple things, they didn't play the poke comp on the second King's Row first point defense that they did. But they just stuck to their plan. They stuck to their guns. They stuck to those comfort picks. They put Xavier on the Rhine. They put Gambit on the Junkrat as much as possible. They put Zebra Cookie on the McCree as much as possible. And holy cow, did it work?
Yeah, it sure did.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go to a short break here. When we come back, we will have an interview with, I believe, Saucer and maybe someone else. A couple members of Danger Close Red. We'll be right back.
See you soon.
All right, sorry for the delay, folks, and welcome back. We've got two members of Danger Close Red here for an interview. We got Saucer and Paradroid, both of whom we saw some great play out of today. Paradroid on the support, Saucer on, I believe, mostly the off tank on a couple of those maps, unless I am incorrect.
Correct.
Perfect. Well, Spork and I have a couple of questions for you guys. First of all, congratulations. That was a super fun match to watch, and I can speak for Bix and myself when I say it was super fun to cast.
Oh, yeah.
So going in, obviously, I'm sure you guys knew that the stakes were high for Crusaders. They had to 3-0 you guys to make it into the season playoffs. And so going into map 3, like on Kings Row, I want to know how did you guys feel at the beginning of Kings Row? You were down 2 maps. You knew that you had to win this one to knock Crusaders out of playoffs. I don't know if you guys cared about that or not. You knew that you had to win this one to keep your hopes alive of not having a winless stage. And then what did you think at the end of Kings Row? I mean, what was the energy like right then?
Yeah, so I mean, I think at the beginning we were actually fairly confident. The first 2 maps weren't like blowouts by any means, so I think everyone's mood at the time was just if we, play to our strengths, kind of like stick to the brawl, and kind of like rely on some comfort picks, I think we can get it done. And then we knew we could get it done, and then at the end of the map we were definitely stoked because at that point we were like, okay, there's definitely a chance. Because that was the end of a map loss streak. So a little bit of a momentous occasion for us, So yeah, I think it was good vibes all around.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, you're talking about going into it feeling like neither of the 2 maps were blowouts. Spork and I were saying some really, really similar things from our perspective. We felt like both of those previous maps, you guys were 1 team fight away from winning. We felt like a lot of the team fights were kind of just up and down, kind of coin flip team fights. And then I'll throw it over to Spork for the next question.
Sure. So at least on the cast, we kind of mentioned a lot about how like the I say the league. I mainly mean the Nest. The Nest has been kind of pinning you guys as like overrated. Is the easy word that comes to mind. Just because
Sure.
all the talk about the easy schedule stage 1, and then the map loss streak you were talking about in stage 2. Was there like any chip on your shoulder to like shake that off before the end of the tournament?
I'll take. Yeah, go.
Yeah, you can take that one.
Okay,
go for it.
We could split it or something. Definitely. We our previous record. I mean, this is, I guess, for one thing, this is probably the highest like SR league we've done as a team together. So we came into it knowing it was going to be difficult for us, and obviously, we got knocked out of playoffs, so it goes. But our heads are still high. But anyway, I mean, obviously, we wanted to not go down completely without even getting a map in that last game. So we're pretty stoked about that. But I think regarding, I mean, obviously we had some easier teams stage 1, but I don't know. I think it's just different combinations of things kind of led us to have a little bit of a lull for a little while. And I don't know. I think we're glad we were able to kind of show it that we could bounce back and we could keep playing like we have in the past. So I mean, definitely chip on our shoulder, but I don't know. I think we did well tonight. We did the best we could.
Feel for the future, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's great to end the season on a high end, especially after obviously you guys were flying high in that first stage and have had a bit less success up until this point in the latter stage. And man, that reverse sweep was sustained. It was really fun to see you guys just stick on those comfort picks and just really get a lot of value out of those rolls. So now obviously we're going to be looking forward into the playoffs. So you guys are obviously not in the playoffs, and you knew that going into this match. So I guess we got 2 questions about playoffs, and one is, who is there a particular team that you guys feel like you're backing going into the playoffs that you like would like to win? And then do you feel like there is necessarily like a dark horse in the playoffs? And if so, which team would you say that is?
A mini nest, if you will.
So I can take the first half of that question if that's cool with Paradroid. Yeah, I think a lot of people on our team have kind of talked about how we really like Paradise Tempest.
Mhm.
We're a fan of how coordinated they are and how they kind of like focus on team synergy above all else. And we've also scrimmed with them and they're like super cool. So
I can attest
for
to
me,
that.
yeah, for me personally,
Yeah, we
I'd say
love Paradise Tempest.
and I think a lot of other of my teammates would agree with that. So for the second half, do you have a dark horse, Paradroid?
Paradroid is muted.
He does
Uh-oh.
seem to be muted, so
Okay.
I guess you can take that one if you so wish.
Dark horse. I'm looking at the bracket right now. So, I guess, yeah, or favorite. I guess I could say Hyperion, because King has played with us before, and he's a cool guy. Shout
That's
out.
fair. King is what you would call quite a gamer.
And a
Yeah,
king, even.
quite a king even.
Chat on the Farah. Chat on the Farah.
Absolute Chad on the projectile DPS. And then Spork, do you have any last questions?
I guess since we don't really know how Owlet is going to look stage 5, if there's going to be a stage 5, I guess I'll give season 5, excuse me. I guess I'll give you an opportunity here to just shout out where we can find DCR next. A Where's Waldo type of thing, where we can watch DCR play after this.
That's a really good question that we should probably get a more concrete answer to. As far as I know, we haven't like 100% decided on anything yet. That's probably more of a question for our team captain, Morn. Yeah, the rest of the team is, stoked to continue playing together. So,
Right.
yeah, when the time comes, we'll definitely let y'all know.
All right. We'll be looking forward to it. I can't blame you for not having any future plans, because I can tell you over here at Beefers, we don't know either.
Listen, man, you gotta live in the moment, live in the moment.
Yeah, well, that comes first, obviously, but
yeah, best of luck in playoffs, by the way, Beefers.
thank you. But yeah, I think that's all the questions I have.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. Thank you for interviewing with us, guys. If you have anything else you'd like to say, anyone you want to shout out or anything, now is the time. Otherwise, congratulations again on the reverse sweep and have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, y'all. Thanks for having us.
Sure thing.